All right, we're getting into requests for admissions. This is one of the more interesting ones that I thought in terms of conceptually about the discovery process. Why would anybody admit to the truthfulness of some fact or opinion? I suppose that the process really is about narrowing down to the issues, the true issues in the case. So I'm going to make a request for admission. I'm going to ask you to admit certain facts. What you'll find that's kind of interesting is that commonly I'm asking you to admit facts that are pretty important, like admit that you were negligent when you ran into my client's car, that kind of thing. Why would I admit to that? I probably would never admit to that. But think about that, this question, one party asking the other to admit the truthfulness of some fact or opinion. Why might you do that? Good question. Let me tell you about the uses. Basically, you do it to authenticate documents. You're going to request for admission. Did you write this email to Bob on, November 2nd? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Okay, I authenticate that document was written by you. I confirm the truthfulness of facts and opinions. I verify the proper application of law. So you can ask, facts, opinions. Do you believe that so and so was negligent on that day, or do you believe that this injury was within a reasonable degree of medical certainty caused by the accident? That's clarifying, confirming the truthfulness of an opinion. Verify the proper application of law. You are claiming this is a negligence case. Okay. What are the advantages? This is the big one right here. The first one, the deemed admitted rule. If I fail to respond to a request for admission, the court can deem that question admitted. Okay. Maybe that answers your little bit why the question, why would you do these? And I'll give you another example. In a credit card case, frequently, a credit card collection case, the credit card company is sending you a message. They're sending you a request for admission saying, admit that you owe us the money. If you fail to admit it or deny it, then it's automatically deemed admitted. You've lost your case because they've asked you the core pieces. So what's the benefit for that? What's the benefit of doing that? Again, what's the why here? Why would you want to do that in a credit card case? In a credit card collection case, by the way, it starts very early on. You start getting your credit card bill and it says you must owe, it's past due, past due, past due. They send you a bunch of those. Then they refer to you to collections. A collection agency hounds you and calls everybody you know, or they think you might know. Your brothers, your sisters, your moms, your aunts, your dads, your grandparents, they're calling everybody trying to find you to say, hey, you owe us $28,000. They do all those things. You're not answering. You never call them back. They file a lawsuit. You finally take it somewhat seriously and you respond back to the court with, remember, you're not a lawyer. You haven't studied any law. You respond back with, I admit, or I deny that I owe you the money. So now we can't have a judgment or we can't make a motion for judgment on the pleadings because you've now denied my claims if I'm the credit card company. But after that, then I send you requests for discovery and you never respond because you still have stepped away from it. You're assuming that I've appeased them. I've denied that you owe me any money, or that I owe you any money. I move on and I wait. You're still not responding. I still don't respond. The credit card company says, well, I'm going to have you deem these to admit these. I make you deny them. And I'm going to ask you now specific questions like how much. That's one thing that's really important. It's a learning tool to know how much do you agree that you missed. So do you owe me? I'm the credit card company. I ask you, you owe me $28,000? Agreed? And you say, no, I only owe you $2,500. Well, at least then we got somewhere, didn't we? We agreed that you do owe me something. Now the only dispute's the amount. That's an important learning tool. The most important thing to understand as a person who may one day get a lawsuit is to always respond. Always respond to discovery the best you can, even if you're not going to get a lawyer or anything. Respond to your request for admission, because if you don't, now they make a judgment They make a motion for summary judgment because you admitted all the facts. They make a motion for summary judgment and you've admitted all the facts. They now win. Okay. Responding to requests, you can admit, deny, refuse to either admit or deny because you've made a reasonable inquiry. I don't know the answer. I haven't. I looked through all the stuff I have. I can't get there. You can object, same as for the other reason, all the other discovery tools we've talked about. You can object that it's a compound request. For instance, please disagree or agree with the following statement. Cars should be faster and safer. Okay, that's a compound question or a double-barrel question. Should the government spend less money on the military and more on education? Okay, so you get some of these. Here's another good one, I think. So instead of murdering your neighbor, did you go home and bake a pie, which you donated to the Girl Scouts bake sale? And you say no. And they follow up, so you admit you murdered your neighbor? So do you get it? So instead of murdering your neighbor, you went home and baked a pie and gave it to the Girl Scouts. You said, no, I didn't give a pie to the Girl Scouts. That's what you meant. But what you said was that you said no to both questions. Okay, that's a double-barrel question. Another good one is, are you still beating your wife? That's a classic law one. Okay, instead of it does, and you say, am I still beating? No, I don't beat her. I never have. You can't answer that question really. That's what a double-barrel question is. Okay, the last piece that comes up, and this has to do with the future of discovery, and we throw out, well, what is cloud storage? How is that going to play into discovery? And our ability to conduct discovery is going to be complicated by the fact that we don't control a lot of the information that's available in the cloud. So that's where you just think about that and realize that that's an issue that's going to be coming up in law, and particularly in discovery in the future.